Getting lucky is not always about luck. There is a formula for getting lucky: preparation, attitude, opportunity, and action. This is the formula that will give you luck. So do it.
Welcome back. Today, Ahmed and I are discussing the book, The Compound Effect: Jumpstart Your Income, Your Life, Your Success by Darren Hardy. An incredible book. Ahmed, how did you hear about this book?
I was looking for self improvement books, and I think that I found it on the future recommendation book list. And I was like, no brainer for me. I'm gonna take it. I'm gonna read it.
Yes, me as well. So I took those lists, and I kid you not, there's a used bookstore maybe about 15 minutes from my house. And a couple times a week I would go and I spent like 45 minutes to an hour each time just searching for these books. They're not expensive if you buy them off of Amazon, but I was like, I really want to find these because I like used books for a plethora of reasons. And I found The Compound Effect. I scored it. Incredible book. Well, Ahmed, can you please give the book for our listeners and viewers in 3 sentences?
Yeah, sure thing. Your life is the result of your choices. Doing 5 minutes of something is better than doing nothing. Your circle define who you are and who you will become. And I couldn't stop myself because I need to give a fourth one, and is as a bonus, track everything you do. And I
Love
mean
it.
everything.
Everything.
Yeah.
Even, never mind. Everything. All right. So before we discuss this book, we may need to set some ground or set some terms. The word compound. I looked up a definition and I was getting science definitions, finance definitions. Do you have a simple definition of what compound or compounding means?
Like I'm not gonna like give like a scientific definition or finance definition. When I first read the title of the book, and it is stating that jumpstart your income, your life, and your success. So I'm like, there's certainly trying to tell me that if I do something now, it will reward me in 5, 10 years. You don't know when, but it will give you like some kind of accumulation of small steps gathering all together, and it becomes a huge result.
Totally. I'm familiar with the word compound from compound interest. In high school, I was bit by the finance bug or the investing bug. Just learned about what compound interest was, and really, like anyone else in the world, was drawn by the idea that my money can make money for me. How cool is that? Drawback? Well, depending on how much you put in and how often you put in, you may be looking at several years, decades. And yeah, so it's this idea that we're investing into something that is going to have a return that then helps us, benefits us. And that applies to finance with money. But there's several other ways that we can invest in ourselves or in our business that isn't money related. Do you have any examples, Ahmed?
Yeah, sure. Choices, habits, those kind of things that you can invest on, and even like reading. Not everybody reads, but like if you invest in yourself and start reading like 5 pages per day, as long as you can, and after starting to get to 10 pages, 20 pages, and so on. So that for me is a compound effect, because if I didn't start reading 5 pages per day, I wouldn't be in that stage of reading 50 per day, right? So that's it for me.
Yeah. Do you feel, since we're talking about books and reading on this
Yeah.
show, can you talk to the audience? What was it like when you kept reading even though you didn't want to? The motivation wasn't there. What did that feel like?
Like, I'm thinking about it, and I don't force myself to read. If I don't want to read, I won't read. Like I give myself like space, like 1 month without reading anything, and I didn't feel guilty about it. Like I need to read. You need to read, and it depends how you approach it. If you're someone that if you stop doing something, you won't pick it up again, then maybe you should try to not give it up. But if you know that you're gonna take like 1 month off, and after that you know that you're gonna pick it up again because you need that break, then do it. Like for me, it's no brainer.
Sure. I was the opposite. I am very much the type where I just if I set myself if I say I'm going to do this and I don't do that, I feel terrible about myself. And I'm sure what you feel to some extent, maybe not with reading. With reading for me, the whole reason why I got into it was I was thinking, okay, I may not see the value in it now, but in the time to come, after I've done it long enough, it'll probably be something I like. And we've spoken about why I got into reading, how I got into reading with making it a habit, and that is what kept me through. And yeah, even if it was like the end of the day, I didn't read that morning after I had my coffee, I would be like, "Matt, you have to read for 5 minutes. If you can't do 5, it has to be 3, but you need to keep building or putting your reps in." And you're a gym guy. How does compound or compounding, how's that affect going to the gym?
Yeah, I like this question. And like, to be honest, even in the gym, there's like, if you follow a program, and after like 1 month or 2 months, you need to take one week off of the gym to like let your body recover and get back stronger. If you don't do it, you're gonna burn your I think central system nervous system, and you won't be able to like be as strong as you were, and you're gonna start from the beginning. So why go to that point? If you know that you can take 1 week off or 2 weeks off, doesn't matter, but you
I
need to
think
take
that
rest.
I think that's something that it could be said that maybe we should anticipate the need for our bodies, our minds to have rest, our businesses to have rest, and then we work to build that into the plan. Is that something you do? I know you enjoy working out. You're a gym rat. I'm not. Do you build in like, okay, I'm going to work X number of days or weeks, whatever, and then I'm going to take a couple days off? How's that work for you?
So I have a different approach for that. Like I'm like, I'm not gonna lose my results. I went to the gym like for 1 year, so I'm not gonna stop that. Like I worked hard for 1 year, and it's like it is something against yourself here that you're gonna do if you're stop going to the gym, right? Because it is far far harder to get results when you go to the gym than to get fat or like weaker, right? It is always more difficult to get the good stuff than the bad stuff. So yeah, that's how I keep myself motivated, because I know that it is more fast, more easy to get like to gain weight than to lose it, right?
Yeah, that is okay. I mean that's a perfect segue. We did not plan this. At the end of chapter 1, Darren, the author, has action steps. Actually, they wrote action steps for each chapter, which is pretty great. And he talks about don't be Brad. Write down the small, seemingly inconsequential actions you can stop doing that might be compounding your results downward. I think Brad was mentioned in a story or something, but that's besides the point. To what you were saying, Ahmed, you know that it is easier for bad things to happen when you don't go to the gym than for good things to happen when you go to the gym. I saw a video today. If I can find it again, we'll link it in the notes. And the speaker was saying the difference between motivation and discipline is that discipline is the thing that actually gets us to keep going. Because if we only wait until we're motivated to start that new dream, to start going to the gym, to continue going to the gym, almost immediately, I feel like we're going to be feeling, well, I just don't really want to. And that applies in every area of life, I think. I think same with entrepreneurship. I think there's this huge uh, elephant in the room that entrepreneurs don't speak about. Those moments where it's like, yeah, I don't want to show up. I don't want to edit this. I don't want to have this meeting. Is that something that you've experienced in your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh yeah, definitely. And when this happened, I asked myself why, and there is always a reason. But if you don't know why, you gotta ask yourself like deeper questions. Are you enjoying what you're doing? Like, why don't you wanna like edit this video? If it was a video like they're gonna pay you $10,000, you'll do it, right? So there's always a reason, and if it's the compensation of the action that you need to do that is not enough for you, then raise your prices. There is like something, there's a solution for you if you fit that way. And yeah, so for myself, it is what I'm saying exactly as of now. If I feel like I don't want to work on a, a brand or something like that, like I'm not getting paid enough. Simple as that.
Yeah. No, it's so important to understand what your motivation is. Again, motivation won't be the thing that necessarily pushes us every single time. That's where discipline comes in. However, understanding your motivation. Why did you quit your job to start something new to begin with? Or why did you not take a position at a firm when you could have consistent income, a consistent routine? You don't have to worry about, taking money out for taxes. I don't know how they do in Canada. That's some here, but um, get back to the reason why you started this thing to begin with. If you're an entrepreneur, who are you trying to help? It's not just you, or at least I hope it's not just you. There should be something a little bit bigger, I think. And it's something that honestly I struggle with probably every day, if I'm being quite honest, because I work out my bedroom. And this isn't the view that most people see. They see my superimposed fake Zoom background that I made. And I don't think what people really know is I spend probably 80% of my time in a week in my room working. It's not that, don't get me wrong, this is not productive work 80% of the time in a week, but I'm in my room in my house because it is my office. It is my restaurant because I'm, gotta cook meals. It is my entertainment because I will play Xbox. It is my school because I'll take online classes. So all this time I'm spending here, yeah, when I'm sitting in front of the computer and there's a blank screen or like today, video software just not working, I have to think, okay, what is keeping you going? Like, why do you need to keep doing this? What is the risk? What is the return? And what would happen after you finish that task? Or how will you feel after you finish that task? Have there been moments in your life, Ahmed, that you can recall when you're working on a project that you just really don't want to work on? But then after it's done, maybe you have a moment of clarity or realization where it's like, man, I was really sweating this. It took 2 seconds. Or you just feel good that this is finished. Anything that comes to mind?
To be honest, only one time, and from that moment, it was like I need to set like strongest boundaries for not feeling that way again. And it was like, yeah, like when you see your phone getting a call from someone, and you're like, I'm not gonna answer that, or getting an email, I'm not gonna answer that. So those kind of all comes down to like headaches and not getting paid enough for what is your value at. And like there's people that are like getting paid, let's say $500 for a logo, but they're good with it, and they're good with themselves. But there's other people's that feels that is not enough, or feels like they're working so much hours and not getting the right compensation again. So for me, it happens one time, and after that, I was good with the price that I was getting. But from the moment that I feel, nope, okay, I need to raise again
Is
because
is there anything so taking the money side out of it, what are the moments where maybe you're working on, I know you do a ton of projects for yourself, for your brand. Have there been moments where you're working on a project and you're not getting paid from it? You're not paying yourself, to my knowledge. What keeps you going through that?
it is the vision. Like, to be honest, it is the tunnel vision. And for me, I'm like, if I'm not doing that, nobody will do it for me. And at some point, 5 years from now, what is the result of my actions as of now? And I can't know that if I don't do it right now. So that is my motivation for that. And I'm like, there were people that are busier than me, who works like 7 to 5 and have another job and doing YouTube videos and not complaining. So where is my excuse? Like, not feeling good, so I'm not gonna doing it. Like, there's people who are in another level of discipline.
Yeah. No, I feel that. And chapter 2 of the book is all about choices. The choices we make impact our future, impact our outcome. And this probably should have been said at the beginning. The whole idea to this book is there are little things you can start doing today. And if you keep doing them tomorrow and the day after that and the day after that, eventually you're going to see large gains, large returns. You're going to see more value come to you later in life. And it can be pointed to the little things you did in the beginning. Like if you take a snowball at the top of a mountain, you push it down. Yeah, everyone loves this analogy. It's going to be ginormous at the bottom. Well, it's true because it picks up momentum, which that's chapter 4. Maybe did he talk about like a snowball in developing the book? Probably. So when it comes to choices that we can make, Ahmed, we've touched on several of them. Uh, what area, person, or circumstance in your life do you believe you struggle with the most? And this
It
comes
was
directly from an action step. So our audience knows.
for but as of now, I think that I worked on that, and it was working too much for nothing. And yeah, like, I was limiting myself, switching from multitasking and doing like YouTube stuff, client work, and bunch of irrelevant things, like finding myself in emails and so on and so forth. So it was like getting clear head, clear thinking on what I'm gonna do today, tomorrow, after tomorrow, like planning weeks ahead, but not feeling guilty if I don't get thing done that particular day. So pretty much it, yeah.
Yeah,
How about you?
man, honestly, it's me. It's me. So, being that I have ADHD, the way our brains work, for those that don't know, you ever heard the expression a squirrel on crack? That's basically how we function. Like our brain is racing a million miles a second, and we'll be working on something with like tunnel vision, which is weird that we can do. Tunnel vision, we hear nothing, we see nothing, and then randomly we'll have a thought, and it's like, squirrel. And then we find ourselves like, okay, now we have to give our attention to that. It can be tied to like shiny object syndrome, which we've spoken about. And in my life, I found that something that really helps me out is I will have a to-do list, or I'll have a list somewhere on paper, digital, and I have one in the metaverse as well. Fun fact. And I just call them like random Matt's random thoughts. And I've found after watching a TED talk from somewhere that if I just take those random thoughts and I just put them in, it then tells me, okay, you gave some attention to it. You're not going to forget it. You can work on it later when the time is appropriate. But right now, you need to get back to your work. So that's like something super, super simple, but that has really helped me because I would go down all these rabbit holes of just jumping from one thing to the next, like you were saying with multitasking and thinking, oh, but it takes 5 seconds to read that email and respond. And yet I open the email, I start my response, but then I go and I'm working on something else and I get back to that email and it's like 30 minutes have gone by. Well, how did that happen? Or I check my phone and I play Clash of Clans for for 5 seconds. And then like 30 minutes go by. I'm like, how did we get here? Well, it's me. So how did you feel when you realized you mentioned like you said you were doing meaningless things or things that had no value? How did you feel like when you came to that realization of I've been wasting time?
Seeing
How,
other people doing it, like you're saying yourself. I don't know if I have ADHD. Maybe I do
sure. I
because
think
like I'm
everyone
the
actually has a little bit, but we just have it more.
I have the exact same situation as you, like finding myself responding to an email, and this 2 minutes after I'm on YouTube watching
Yeah.
highlights. You know,
Yeah. Yeah.
like I get recommended a video of like let's say Stephen Curry highlight. I'm gonna watch it, but
You're
I
there.
came to a realization. Okay, that's enough. Like I'm not doing what I'm be supposed to be doing, and it needs to stop. So that's when started to get really interested into productivity and getting things done, because I was wasting time. Like something that normally took take me like 1 hour is gonna take 3 hours, and it makes no sense, right?
Yeah.
So that's why.
And that's something that I'm trying to find the page number. On page 41, Darren discusses the real cost of a $4 a day coffee habit over 20 years is over $51,000. When you think you're spending so little in money and in time every single day, over over time it adds up. And as we talk about the choices we make, whether we answer that call, that email, we work on this project or that project, I think we have to set certain qualifiers to determine, is this important enough? Is that something? What is your decision making process, Ahmed, when you have a plethora of choices? Do you work on this project? Do you work on your spec project? Do you do client work? How do you choose what's the most important? Is it strictly deadlines?
No, no, to be honest, no, no, not only with deadlines. It depends on, because I like to work on one project at a time. So I eliminate this kind of decision making. And because if you're bad at decision making or taking, yeah, decision taking, and you're gonna feel guilty about it, and you're gonna start like, oh my god, I should have choose this or that, and after that, like you don't know what to do, you start looking for how to make better decisions. And there's a book actually talking about that, the essentialism or the essentialist, I think. And you gotta take like some categories and see for yourself what is better for you. Is it like take a project that gonna pay you $50,000, or less money but more meaningful? And by meaningful, I mean something that is meaningful for you, not just like the brand itself or whatever it might be.
Yeah, totally. I recently created in Adobe XD several art boards. One is schoolwork. These are basically to-do lists, which I could probably do in any other program. I just like XD. But I have schoolwork, client work, podcasts, social media, other, and then maybe a few other things, or free work, spec work, something like that. And for the stuff that I really want to do, but now isn't the right time, I have a series of questions, and I should have pulled up in front of me. One of them is, does this bring money to the business? Second, will it bring money to the business, or could it? And the third is, uh, will it take longer than one round of Nuketown? That's a map on Call of Duty that I play. Does it take longer than that? Because I'm familiar with about how long those are. And then four, who can I ask for help? For me, relinquishing control over projects has been difficult because at the end of the day, I'm the one that speaks with the client if they don't like it. I'm not going to throw my team member under the bus and be like, "Well, they designed it this way." No, that's not how it works when you're the face and you're client facing. And I've been working on trying to switch my choices from always doing every single thing to how can I delegate better? As Christo says, play hot potato with every job that comes in. Where you get it, then who can you pass it to that is as talented as you or more? So that you're not being constantly bogged down in the work. Now I'm curious from on your side of things because to my knowledge, you it's just you, right?
Yep.
I'm just really like curious because for people that don't know you, Ahmed has to be, in my opinion, just like a freak of nature when it comes to productivity. Because I never hear this man talk about, yeah, I went out last night and I'm going to a party next week or anything like that. And yet he's not like bragging about like, well, I'm working, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. It's nothing like that. It's just he'll say, oh yeah, I'm working on this website redesign. Then the following week, I'm like, "So how's that redesign?" "Oh, yeah, I finished it." And I'm just thinking to myself, "Oh my god, he finished something he said he was going to do? How?"
I had my time going
Yeah,
out, doing all that
sure.
stuff, and yeah, just from the moment, like I said, when it came to mind that I need to get things done, and I started to really get interested into productivity, and it all comes down to priorities. If you want to go to the gym, you will go to the gym. If you want to go party, you will find time to party. Like you will find time to pretty much do anything, like watching Netflix, whatever it might be. So I just found the time to do whatever I need to do now because as of now we're speaking, we're doing the episode at the time that we didn't do it before, but we found the time to do it at another day that is not scheduled to be, but we get it done still. So
We get done. That's
yeah.
very true. And in chapter 3, Darren discusses habits. And I know I remember, in the taping of these episodes, Ahmed, I would say, "Okay, well, we can meet I can meet next Friday, like 10 a.m. my time." Or 10 yours, 9 mine. And you would say, okay, cool. Because I didn't put it in my calendar, and I kid you guys not, those listening, probably 4 or 5 weeks in a row, I would hit a med up. So I hate to do this, but I need to reschedule because something came up. All this to say, I know myself well enough. If it ain't in the calendar, it ain't happening. It ain't being done. It ain't going to be remembered. My friends make fun of me for this because back pre COVID, I would literally send calendar invites to hang out with people. That's not because I'm the most super busy person in the world. I wasn't running Old Soul then. That's just because I didn't want to forget because things like that, we make plans, weeks in advance, days in advance. For me, I just forget those things. So making a habit of if I say I can meet at this time and they say it works, I'm sending that calendar invite, I'm making the Zoom room, whatever. That's been crucial for me. Do you have a singular habit that is your go to for, all things that keeps your brand together, Ahmed?
Yeah, like since 1 year ago, I think I came across this video from Ali Abdal on YouTube. I think we need to link it into the description, and was talking about the highlight of the day. And what it means is you need to take one task or one project for your day. It might be like going to dinner with your girlfriend, that is into your calendar or your highlight of the day. And if you do it, you're done. Like you always will have one task that is more important than the other, and you need to find this one and make it your highlight of the day and get it done. And after that, you don't need to feel guilty if you didn't finish what is not your highlight of the day. So for me was that always making the top one priority, giving it the highlight of the day. If I get it done, I'm done.
I like that. Yeah, no, I don't think I've approached things like that before. So is this something that you choose every single day? Like, okay, my highlight of the day is to finish editing a podcast episode, or do you really plan for it?
I'm always like revamping and readapting with scheduling things. And like 2 months ago, I started doing YouTube videos, and I was testing out a lot of things. At the beginning, I don't know how to do it, how to edit, how to film myself, how to script, and so on. So it is a learning curve. And again, when you like get the momentum, you're good to go. And for myself, I was trying to see what day is better for me to get the ideation done, like getting a title idea, video ideas, and so on. What is the best day for me to film my videos? What is the best day for me to edit my videos, and so on and so forth? So I needed to divide like personal projects with client projects that will bring money, because as of now, I'm not making any money with my YouTube stuff, right? But I know that in the future, I will bring money with that.
Totally. You mentioned momentum. It must be because if you read the book, chapter 4 is all about momentum. Crazy. So, as that snowball is going down the mountain, it is picking up momentum. It is traveling faster. It's becoming larger as time progresses. Can we talk about positive momentum, but then also negative momentum? Is there, and I can go first if you'd like, but let's think about like an example for each from our lives. Is there
Okay.
one that comes to mind, or do you want me to go first?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like when you tell momentum, I have one
Yeah,
video that popped into my head, and it's
yeah,
like ching 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 ching.
there
Like
is.
I don't know, like maybe one person out of five saw this video on YouTube or Instagram, whatever. It's Simon Sinek saying that when you go to the gym, again, yeah, gym. That is the best example with that. Anyway,
So I
you go
hear.
to the gym the first day, second day, 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, you won't see results. Like maybe you won't. But if you keep going 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, up until like your first year, and if you compare to your first day, you will see result 1000%. But if you quit at your fourth month, you will never know. And I know for sure that if you go to the gym for 1 year, you'll have results. Like there is no way around. Even instead, you were cheating to your phone. That's a different story.
Right. And in your life, what is a moment that you have seen, okay, things are progressing for you. You're seeing the results from working in the gym, or you're seeing the results of I made all this free content and now I'm getting engagement. Is there anything that comes to mind with that?
With my content over YouTube, nope. But over at Instagram, like getting back at choices, and I needed to make a choice. What platform I need to focus on, because it wasn't sustainable, like doing all that Instagram, TikTok, and so on and so forth. I decided to focus into YouTube, and from that moment, I understood that I don't need to be on every platform like to attract persons, right? Because at the end of the day, people on Instagram know that I'll do YouTube videos now, and I won't like not wasting my time, but dedicating my time to Instagram, because it is not giving me return on investment. You know, YouTube is a whole different beast, and I don't like even know getting 20 views is something that I'll embrace because 20 views is better than zero, right?
Yes, it should be something you celebrate. I think that
Yeah.
I think something that contributes to our momentum and our choices is if we celebrate those little moments, the moments that others may feel are insignificant. That, oh well, it's only 20 views. For me, it was on Twitter. I got, I think, 300 followers. Which, when you think about, like, 300 followers, that's a lot of people, like individuals that say, you know what, I like you enough, or so I may think, that I'm going to follow you. Doesn't matter. That tangent. Um, yeah. So when I had 300 followers, I was like, you know what, this is really cool because I thought about that way. Uh, with momentum for me, I found that there seems to be a lot of feasts and famines in this entrepreneurial life. You'll have those weeks where the phone is ringing off the hook. People are calling you to do business, not you calling them to do business, but they're coming to you. You're getting referrals. You're, one meeting after the next, and you're driving places, you're flying places, you're doing all the things. And then the next week, it's like no one's getting back to you. People are ghosting you. People just aren't responsive. And I've I feel the momentum in both ways. Where there's the positive momentum, I'm like, okay, things are progressing. We're getting closer to our vision of where we want to be. And I'm at that place right now. I've also been in the place where decisions I am making are negatively impacting my momentum. Here's what I mean. When I think I can do it all on my own, so I'm making all those little, seemingly meaningless decisions to just do it all on my own instead of hiring someone to help with this or help with that. Well, it's just one caption. Well, it's just two captions. Well, it's just a social media post. Over time, it becomes I'm just so in the work, I'm not in the business. I'm not working on the business, I'm working in and for the business. Have there been moments for you where you felt like, and you alluded to it earlier, where you're just checking your phone or those emails, maybe is there anything else that you felt was negatively impacting your momentum?
Yeah, like inconsistent sleep. That was like impacting my momentum for sure because not waking up at the same hour, fuck the schedule, messed up the schedule. And so you gotta, like, being always in the adaptation, it can like brings you off schedule and off momentum because you're not into your zone per se. So I just needed to give an hour for myself that I know that every day I can show up into that in this hour. So no matter what time I wake up, I can do it. Like for work. So I always start work on projects, whatever it might be, at 10, but I wake up maybe at 6, 7, 8, and I'll do whatever it might be that is not work related until 10. So that works for me. And yeah.
That's good. That's good. And when we get into chapter 5, that's all about influences, the people we surround ourselves with, or the books we read, the media we consume, social, the music we listen to, the podcasts we listen to, the movies we watch, the TV shows we watch. I think all of that applies to influence. He mainly spoke about the people we hang with. Do you have a group of people that surround you, Ahmed, that you feel like are really either holding you accountable and pushing you to grow because you're just in proximity to them, or they are like, Ahmed, you need to get it together, get this done?
Not really. Like I have you. I have
Sure.
another one.
Yeah.
But other than that, like everybody is doing his business. Not like asking me, oh, what are you doing? How you doing? Like negative influence. I never dealt with that, to be honest, because if I want to party, I'll go party. It's not because of someone that is influencing me to go party. But I'm not saying that I'm not influenceable because every human is influenceable depending on how. I'm not influenceable by people, but I'll be influenced by music, let's say, or TV shows, as you said. There's like plenty of ways to get influenced, but choose your poison and know which one is affecting you, and with that, you need to fix it.
1,000%. And the first thing I think of with influences is mentorship and the power of mentorship. That's been something critical for my development and growth, personally, financially, spiritually, and with my business. I've There's been people throughout my life that either became mentors just out of proximity and I asked enough questions and it was regular enough, or I went out and I asked if they would mentor me. That's been something that's been really huge. And since I was a kid, I've always gravitated towards people that were older than me to just be around. So it was easier for me, and still is, to talk to someone twice my age than maybe someone my age. I've gotten better, but growing up, it really was difficult. Like I would talk with family friends that were well older than me. They'd all say, "Oh wow, it's like talking with a 30-year-old, or he has it more together." Blah blah blah. And that never boosted my head or anything. It was just that's where I felt comfortable. I didn't feel comfortable talking to kids my age for whatever reason. I just didn't, and that's where people called me an old soul. That's why old soul's called old soul. And yeah, so I found I was very influenced by the company I kept in a positive way. There were moments where I hung out with people I shouldn't have, and uh, but that was early on, thankfully.
But no, I have something in mind, like, yeah, some people knows that they are influenceable by people, right? Like, I know that this person is not a good fit for me, I should like distance myself. But how, how if this person want to change, but she needs your help, no, right? And you know that you're not influenceable, but you can help this person. Do you think that you should distance yourself, or if you know that you're not influenced by people, like you can be the influencer in a good manner, right? Don't be influenced, be the
Yeah,
influencer.
I think that can be difficult because I think even if take out the confidence in, okay, I'm not easily influenced. If you don't have that, I think there's plenty of times where there's an opportunity to be a positive influence or a negative influence. Positive because the person that's come into your life is at a different place in theirs, and the things you're doing or things you have done, the experiences you've had would help guide them in a positive way. Or they're the not so good things that you have done and maybe continue to do, and the choices you make, and that would take that person, lead them astray, or their decisions that may not be the best would, that is when it influences us to not do the good things. So to answer your question was, and I want to make sure I get this correct, how do we do that if someone comes along and it seems like, yeah, maybe we can be a good influence to them, but we're also a little leery about the impact that they would have or that
Ex-
relationship would have. Is that it? Okay.
exactly.
I think you have to. Yeah, it's tough because I know there's been plenty of times where I've told people like this just isn't a good time, and this is just oh, we'll come out da da da, and I do it once, and it's like I'm just not vibing with it. It's just not, something doesn't feel right, and when I feel that, I know it's something I gotta listen to. It's more than just a gut thing for me,
Mm-mm.
and I think you just have to really be honest with yourself and think about, okay, am I strong enough not to be influenced? What are they realistically asking me to do? Instead of us thinking that we're going to be like these mentors and all this, and they're going to sit at our feet like we're Socrates. Like, okay, they want to go out for coffee? Yeah, I can do coffee because what's gonna happen in a Starbucks at 9 a.m.? I don't know, maybe a lot.
Mhm.
So I don't I don't think any of this answers your question, but I just think you just gotta think about it. I don't know. What do you think?
Mhm. Yeah, maybe there isn't an answer for that because, to be honest, why would I want to be a mentor to someone, or to be a good influence to someone? I have a lot on my plate, so I don't have time to be a good influence on people and just be a good influence for myself. So, like, I just wanted to have your perspective, but for myself, I don't have time to, like, influence people to be good for themselves. Like, I need to get
That's fair.
things done for myself first and
Yeah,
see
that's
where it
fair.
goes.
I when we talk about like that, I do think more times than not, yeah, I will try to be there for a person. Not I've only had like maybe 2 or 3 people that have outright asked me to mentor them because I'm 23. Like, who needs a 23-year-old mentor? But I had one person, didn't know this person from Adam, and I was gonna say no, I was too busy, or I just couldn't commit to that right now. But I was like, you know what? If they need help, I'll try to help. And if it becomes too much, I'll let them know it becomes too much. So in short, I do think I try to help others along. And oftentimes, yeah, it may come at a disservice to me. Maybe like looking at the timeline, I shouldn't be doing that, but I want to help, so I'll help.
Yeah, the
Yeah,
reason I bring this up is because, like, there's people that can't say no, like, to no one, and that's a problem because you're getting against yourself, right? So that's why I think that if I know that I need to get things done and I have a lot on my plates, I won't be saying yes to helping someone if I know that I can't help them at 100%. So why bother trying to help someone if your mind is not here?
that yes, that when you put it that way, yes, that is a very good point, and that gets outside of mentorship. Now, if we're talking like, you know, have there been people that ask me that want to hire me or hire Old Soul for work? And I'm just looking at like, this is going to take a lot of time. The money isn't right, or
Mm.
the money's right, but the personality of the prospective client just ain't there. We're not gelling. Yeah. Oh, I will turn that down in a heartbeat because I'm no longer afraid to say no. Because I realized after, you know, listening to others, when you say no, you are you're positioning yourself in a place of not necessarily authority, kind of authority, but you're just positioning yourself not to be an order taker.
Yeah,
There's a throwback
exactly.
to when without pitching, because as a specialist, specialists have they don't have an infinite amount of time. Everything's finite. So you have to be really cognizant about that. And if you say yes to everything, you don't say no, that impacts our acceleration in life, but also the acceleration of the compound effect. Can you speak to that a little bit? That's the chapter 6, and I believe the last chapter in the book, right?
Yeah, and to be honest, it follows influences, and this is a trick that I found for myself. I don't know if it is somewhere else. If you know, let's say, a mentor, Chris Do, per se, and you find someone over Instagram that was coached by Chris Do, and he is getting resolved. So why, if it's not into your budget to pay, well, I think it's $1,500 per hour for mentorship with Chris. And I know another guy named Rich, I think, and he is being coached by Chris, but his hourly rate is $500. So it's like you're getting an intermediate person that is being coached by Chris, who has the knowledge, not like 100% of the knowledge of Chris, but let's say 20%,
Yeah.
30%. That
A
is
lot more than what you have, right?
exactly for
Yeah.
your level. So pay that person because you have the same hero as per
A
se, right?
thousand percent. I mean, I think acceleration of the compound effect can be accelerated by taking, I wouldn't call them shortcuts. I think mentorship and coaching are extremely valuable. I know a lot of people that they don't want to be mentored, they don't want to be coached. They want to figure it out because they know they can figure out. I respect that. I also think if you can talk to someone that's already done the things you want to do or has done enough that's similar that they may have some wisdom, hey, watch out for this, watch out for that. I'm going to listen because I don't want to make those mistakes. If they did it, like, yeah, I'm just going to shut up and listen and try to replicate a few things. Not everything. I'm not taking it as gospel or nothing, but same with coaching. Like, yeah, I please tell me how to be better based on your experience. Oh, person making more money than me and is more successful than me for however you define success. Like that just seems like a no-brainer. What has your experience been with that? Have you ever had a mentor or formal coaching in any way?
Yeah, I had the guy's name, I think JC Showalter. I found him over YouTube, and yeah, he was very cheap, and I was like, yeah, for sure I'm gonna pay that because it was for 30 minutes or 40 minutes, but I got a lot of value, like tons of value, and I wouldn't changed my thinking if it wasn't for that, and I only needed that one coaching to bring me to a whole other level, like
Wow,
really.
that's cool. I
And
don't
it
think,
cost me $120.
yeah. So it's like the the opportunity cost is something that
Yeah,
is
yeah.
something that entrepreneurs love talking about. The opportunity cost of that $120 conversation was you made a lot more than that because it changed the way you think. And I heard on a podcast episode, gosh, we need to stop talking about Chris so much. We're like his fanboys. But Chris
Yeah, Chris
said,
is
he's like,
Chris.
hey, he is. He said the reason why I'm like $5,000 or the boot camp, the business boot camp is $5,000 is because you're getting over 25 years of coaching because he was coached for 25 years or whatever. And he said, you're getting over $250,000 of coaching and mentorship because that's how much he spent. And you're getting however many decades he spent doing the work. So when we have coaching and we have mentorship, we're really, I think we're buying time
Yeah.
because it should be something, not necessarily a shortcut, like in a bad way, but yeah, kind of like a shortcut. Just if you see the bridge is approaching, how can you get across that? Because they have done it before. Or if they're telling you, hey, you're going to hit this at some point in your life, then yeah, you should prepare for it now. I think these are all little things that can happen to help accelerate us. Now, you mentioned with coaching, it has to be someone that is successful that's doing this because I think right now, and it's been like this for years, you'll see everyone out there is a guru. Everyone out there thinks
Mhm.
that they have, found the next big thing or whatever, and some have, and others, they're doing affiliate marketing. So, not to
Oh,
Twitter.
good.
Twitter is so toxic with affiliate marketing. It's like, okay,
It's only that.
yeah, it's only that and drop shipping. I'm like, okay, or just go learn something that like can expand. I don't know. I don't know. Wow. We spoke through the whole book in less than an hour, which honestly, I
Yeah.
mean, if you're a fast reader and you're skimming, you probably get through it in an hour. It's not very big. Is there any final thoughts you'd like to discuss, Ahmed, with our audience from the book?
It was a good book for me, and it will be a good book for you if you're in a spot into your life that you feel like behind your accomplishment or what you need to get get doing, you know. So yeah, I think that it is a very good book for anyone that needs to change.
I agree. And to young people listening, To anyone listening, this is going to young people, either in your career or in age. You have to start thinking about the future. And I know that society will say that till they're blue in the face, but instead of looking like so big picture, like I want to be, you know, a multi mega gazillionaire with a private jet, like think about what your motivations are in life. Do you want to help people? If you don't, do you want to have security in not having to worry about, where your next meal is coming from, or if you're going to pay all of your bills? Figure out what motivates you in life and then work on aligning yourself to accomplish small tasks daily. And over time, you're just going to build that consistency and you will see the acceleration take place. And it'll hit you like, wow, how did I get here? What caused this to happen? Because I think for some it takes decades and decades, but I think for others, yeah, that one TikTok you post may blow up. But it didn't blow up after the first one. It blew up after the 52nd one because you just kept showing up and you kept working, you kept working. And I love this quote. It's from the book. Winning the race is all about pace. Be the tortoise. Don't worry so much about your gains, your immediate gains. Be looking at the long term. Play the long game. And with that, I think this episode is a wrap.